Sophia thought she'd met. The perfect man Mark was charming, attentive, and seemingly single, until his phone lit up with a call from someone named Wife. At first, she laughed it off, but when Mark panicked, silenced the call, and rushed out with a flimsy excuse, her stomach dropped. Curiosity turned to horror when Sophia discovered wedding photos buried in Mark's phone, proof he'd been married for 4 years. Worse, his wife Jen had no idea Sophia existed, and she wasn't the only one. Digging deeper, Sophia uncovered messages to multiple women, all believing they were the only one in Mark's life, furious and heartbroken. Sophia faced a choice: walk away or expose the truth. What she did next was unexpected. First, she confronted Mark, recording his stammered excuses. Then, she tracked down Jen, revealing the affair with evidence. But the real shock came when Jen dropped a bombshell: Mark had done this before. Together, the women devised a plan at Mark and Jen's our anniversary dinner. Sophia showed up uninvited. What happened next left Mark humiliated, exposed, and finally cornered in his own lies. This isn't just a cheating story, it's about revenge, justice, and the power of the truth. Will Mark's life unravel completely? Will Sophia get the last word? And what happens when his other victims find out? Stick around, the ending will leave you speechless. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share this video to encourage us and promote our channel. Let's get on with it. The first time Sophia saw the name flash across Mark's phone screen, she actually laughed. Wife, she teased, nudging him playfully as they lounged on her couch. That's a terrible joke. But the way Mark's smile froze, the way his fingers fumbled to silence the call, that's when her stomach dropped. It's just my annoying coworker, he said too quickly, flipping the phone face down. She thinks it's hilarious to change her contact name. Sophia wanted to believe him after 3 perfect months together. 3 months of romantic dinners, stolen kisses at sunset, and whispered promises. She almost did, until 15 minutes later, when Mark's phone buzzed again. Work emergency, he muttered already. Grabbing his jacket, I'll call you later then. He was gone, leaving behind his favorite leather jacket and his unlocked phone. Sophia stared at the device like it was a live grenade she'd never snooped before. But that name, Wife, burned in her mind. Her fingers trembled as she tapped the screen. The text thread with Jen was bad enough, full of heart emojis and pet names. But the photos, those were worse. Jen in a wedding dress. Mark in a tux, a date stamp from 4 years ago. Her breath came in short gasps as she kept scrolling. There were more women: a Sarah in Manchester, who thought Mark was traveling for work, and Emma in Brighton, who believed he was divorced. All of them getting the same sweet lies. Sophia had fallen. For the worst part, Jen's most recent message: can't wait for our anniversary dinner tomorrow. I booked that restaurant you love. Sophia's vision blurred. The man who'd brought her coffee in bed this morning had a wife. A life and anniversary, and she'd been just another. Secret rain lashed against the cafe window. As Sophia hunched over her laptop, the glow of the screen illuminating her bloodshot eyes, she hadn't slept, hadn't eaten, just spent the night combing through every digital trail. Mark had left her best friend Ela, slid into the seat opposite. You look like hell. Mark's married, Sophia said flatly. Ela's coffee cup froze halfway to her lips. What? Sophia spun the laptop around. On screen, Mark's hidden Facebook profile, under Mark T. Williamson, the middle initial he'd never used with her 4 years of marriage. Sophia said, clicking through photos of Mark and Jan at Christmas on vacation holding a newborn baby. He has a child. Ela's mouth opened, then closed. Jesus Christ. That's not all. Sophia pulled up a map, dotted with red pins. Every business trip Mark had taken during their relationship. Each one matched a location where another woman had tagged him on Instagram. He's got a whole system. Sophia whispered Manchester on weekends, when Jen thinks she's golfing Brighton on work Wednesdays. And me. Her voice broke. I was his London girlfriend. Isla grabbed her hand. You have to tell the wife. Sophia shook her head. What if she doesn't believe me? What if? Her phone buzzed. A text from Mark. Miss, you gorgeous dinner tonight. Sophia's fingers curled into fists. No, she said slowly. First, I need proof. He can't explain away. An idea took shape, dangerous but perfect Mark's anniversary. Dinner with Jen was tomorrow night at La Bella Vita. And thanks to Jen's oversharing Instagram, Sophia knew the exact table reservation. She looked up at Illa. I need you to do something crazy with me. La Vita's hostess frowned at the two women shivering in the February cold. You're sure you don't want to wait inside? Sophia adjusted her oversized sunglasses. We're fine from their vantage point. Across the street, they had a perfect view of the restaurant's entrance. Sophia's phone buzzed the 15th. Where are you? Text from Mark. She ignored it, watching instead as Ila's fingers flew across her own phone. She just posted, Ila muttered, showing Sophia. Jen's Instagram story, a selfie in the restaurant bathroom captioned, 7 years and counting. Right on schedule, a black cab pulled up. Mark stepped out, adjusting his tie. The same navy blue one Sophia had given him last month. Showtime, Illa whispered. Sophia's plan was simple. 1, wait until Mark and Jen were seated. 2, have Ila call the restaurant, claiming to be Mrs. Williamson, needing an urgent message delivered. 3, when the waiter approached. Sophia would see Jen's reaction firsthand. But fate had other ideas as Mark held the door for an elderly couple. A woman's voice shrieked, Mark! A blonde in a red coat stormed up to him, Emma from Brighton. Sophia realized with a jolt Mark went sheet white. I don't know, you bullshit. Emma yelled loud enough to turn heads. You told me you were divorced. You slept at my flat last Wednesday. Jen appeared in the doorway. Her smile dying as she took in the scene. Sophia's breath caught. This was happening too fast. Then Mark made his fatal mistake. He reached for Jen's arm while looking straight at Emma and said, Baby, this is just some crazy ex. Jen recoiled like she'd been burned. You know her? Chaos erupted. Emma sobbing, Jen screaming, Mark spluttering, denials, and through it all, Sophia stood frozen across the street, watching the life she'd almost had implode in real time. Her phone buzzed. Again, a new message from Mark. Sophia. Whatever you're hearing. It's not true. Call me, please. For the first time since seeing that damning call. Sophia smiled. She typed back. Oh, I'm not hearing anything, Mark. I'm watching and I've recorded. Everything then. She attached the video file, a perfect shot of his entire world. Crumbling the video sent Sophia expected to feel triumphant. Instead, her hands shook so violently she nearly dropped her phone across the street. Jen had collapsed onto the restaurant steps, her anniversary dress pooling around her ass. He screamed at Mark. Emma was crying into her hands, and Mark, Sophia almost didn't recognize him, was on his knees. Begging Ila grabbed her arm. We should go now, but Sophia couldn't move. This wasn't just revenge. Any more these women. Jen, Emma, even the others she hadn't met. They were victims just like her and Mark. He wasn't just a cheater. He was a predator who'd built his life on lies. Her phone buzzed an unknown number. You think? You've won the text. Read? You have. No idea what I'll lose if this gets out. Sophia's blood turned to ice. It wasn't Mark's style to threaten, which meant one thing. Someone else knew back at her apartment. Sophia paced, waiting for Ila to return with coffee. The anonymous texter hadn't responded to her demand for identity. But they'd sent something worse. A photo of Sophia's building lobby taken that morning. The doorbell rang. Not Ila, a delivery man handed her an envelope with no return, address inside a single key, and a note: midnight apartment. 4B, come a loaner. Jen pays the price. Sophia recognized the address. Mark's bachelor pad he'd claimed was his before they met at 11:58 p.m. She stood outside 4B, heart hammering. The key turned. Smoothly, the apartment was dark. But the TV played security footage. Her bedroom from last week. A voice from the shadows: took you long enough. Mark's brother David stepped into the light. You didn't think Mark kept all those women straight by himself, did you? He smirked. Handled the problems. Sophia's breath caught. Problems like her. Like Jen. David tossed a burner phone at her call. Gentel. Her, you lied. Or this. He tapped the TV remote. The footage, changed to Jen's sleeping daughter's bedroom, goes viral. Sophia's knees buckled. This wasn't just about affairs anymore. It was about survival. Sophia pretended to comply, texting Jen a shaky, "I exaggerated, let's talk." But when David left to get supplies, she frantically searched the apartment and found everything ledgers of payments to women who'd disappeared, fake IDs. Even a second phone with messages to someone called the cleaner Mark wasn't just a cheater, was a con artist. Sophia forwarded it all to Illa with one instruction: "If I'm not home by dawn, send it to the police." Then she took the fire escape. David's threats ringing in her ears 1 week later. Sophia sat across from Jen and Emma at a police station, watching on a monitor. ACE officers arrested Mark and David for fraud, blackmail, and illegal surveillance. Jen wiped her eyes. "I keep thinking, how did I not know?" Emma snorted. The man had spreadsheets. Love Sophia slid a USB across the table. "Everything I found for the divorce." Jen hugged her hard. "Thank you." Outside, Sophia breathed in the crisp morning air. The nightmare was over. Mark would face justice. The other women were safe. And her, she was free. Sometimes the bravest thing you can do is walk away. But sometimes you have to burn it all down. Sophia's story could have ended insolence. She could have walked away, buried her pain, and let Mark continue his web of lies. But she chose a different path, one that demanded courage, not just revenge. This wasn't just about exposing a cheater. It was about unraveling a system of manipulation that preyed on trust. Mark didn't just betray Sophia, he weaponized love against